Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about companies that exploit developers. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, hey Frederick, what do you think of Joshua Fluke and his idea that most companies exploit developers? Well, I don't know what we mean by most companies and what we specifically mean by exploit developers, but at least here in the well, in Europe and basically every single developer I've ever worked with, myself included, I can tell you for a fact that companies do not exploit developers. There is a I have talked to some people who seem to have this idea that every single IT company is out to find the cheapest labor that they can find. They just want to like slice salaries as much as possible. And sure, there are absolutely companies who are doing that, but at least for the different product companies that I've been working for, and my coworkers worked for different consultancies and so forth, that is simply not the way, at least in Europe, that companies on as the norm think. And the reason is very simple. There is an enormous deficit of good developers. So if you want to save on cost, you're basically creating a situation where you might just lose people. What they're going to do is that they're going to come and work for you, get some experience on their CV, and then they're going to fuck off because you're not paying them enough, or you're mistreating them or something like that. And I can promise you it's easier for them to find another job once they have the experience than it is for you to find another one of them. I can say that for a fact because I know personally how painful it is to hire a developer. I will say right now that this idea that some people have that because I've had this discussion before with some people where I've tried to explain that when I say that there's an enormous demand for developers, I'm not talking about a 3-month bootcamp graduate on day one. I'm talking about someone who actually has enough experience to be at a professional level, who can really do the job. That's the valuable developer. We can say senior developers if that makes you feel comfortable, but these developers, they are not easy to find. I can tell you that it takes my current company and the company before that, the average time it takes us to find one, and I mean one, single developer for a position is about 3 to 4 months. And that is with a full-time person doing it. Either it's going to be a recruiter, or in our case it's going to be a in-house person we actually hire, because we literally need someone who does this so much that we pay them to do it, because we need that many developers. But it's just not feasible to say that, oh, we're going to have 10 developers by the end of this quarter. It's not going to happen most of the time. When we want to recruit at that level, we need more people than one person who does it, because that's how hard it is to find anybody who is and go through the process of actually screening them and like all of this stuff. There's so much work that goes into this. So it is a really stupid move for a company that's looking for quality developers to try to exploit them. It's actually I don't think most people realize how expensive it is. We're talking about tens of thousands of euro to get one developer. One. It's more than that in many cases, depending on who you're going to find, depending on the role that you're looking for. So I don't know what what type of companies he is talking to. I can imagine that it might work differently in other parts of the world, but I've never experienced this sort of exploitation. I mean, the worst thing that you experience is usually that in the recruitment process, you have some companies who have a really weird recruitment process, and they might ask you to do some free work, or they might do like these sort of weird things. That does happen, but once again, it's not the norm, and I don't think that's necessarily to exploit you. In many cases, it's just basic stupidity. And then apart from that, I would say that other exploitations might be that they want you to work extra hours, they put a lot of pressure on you. Things like that may happen, but that's not because they want to exploit you necessarily. It is because they have a really poor company structure in many cases where they need things to be shipped, and unfortunately everybody thinks that programming is quicker and easier than it actually is. And apart from that, what I think about Joshua, I can't really comment all that much. The only time I've seen one video, I think, a while back, and it was really only because someone posted a question to me about what I thought about what he was saying, and I watched a part of that video. I couldn't make it through the end because I didn't need I kind of understood what he wanted to say, and all I can really say, because my mother raised me with this slogan: if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. Now I'm gonna be honest and say that I've broken that rule a few times, but I don't want to say more than that. The things that I need from a fellow developer, or the things that I feel that are going to be useful to my personal development, or that will be like a healthy mental exercise or a good discussion with someone that I look at as a peer, Joshua is not for me that person. I'm sure that he has a lot of other useful things that he might be saying, but based on the little that I've seen, I think that you should take a lot of the stuff that he says with a bit of, like, you have to have some perspective. Take it with a pinch of salt and try to get a more balanced perspective on the things that he might be saying. And I think that you should do that regardless of if it's Joshua. I mean, even if it's me. I've told you 100 times before. If I say something and you're not clever enough to understand that I'm basing that on my viewpoint and like my personal experiences, and you don't take the time to, as I said 100 times before, go and check the job posting. If you're unsure if a language or like a technology is relevant or how things work, go and talk to people that are closer to home, because I'm not able to know. I can't give you a perfect picture for every single scenario. You have to be a little bit, be critical of your sources, if that makes sense. And the only person, honest to God, I've ever seen do any type of vlog videos or anything like that on YouTube and videos and so forth, where I felt that this person is probably the person you should listen to, just in general, is going to be she's called a Real Tough Candy, I believe. Yeah, Real Tough Candy. I watched. She commented at one point in one of my videos, which was very flattering because I mean her channel is much bigger than mine, and I had a look at one of a few of her vlog videos, and she, I mean my initial thought when I saw that was like, yeah, she gets it. I understand. She has a very mature way of thinking, and she seems to understand the intricacies of office politics, and like how, say, Google, for example, why can they have so weirdly high expectations of their developers, and why do people come back? Like she was really, I think that she really understood it. I really feel like if you want to check how things, if you want a different perspective than what, say, Joshua would give you, I think that it's worth hearing her out, because I think that she seems to be in the same sort of space of videos as he is in some cases, and I just think that she has a good head. That's what I'm trying to say. So what I want you to take away from this is that I haven't ever experienced that something even remotely close to something that where I would say that most companies are trying to exploit their developers. I can only say that I don't think it's true. It's not true, at least not in Europe, and definitely not in like product companies in general, because that would be the dumbest thing ever, considering how much it costs to hire good developers. It might be different if you're working as a freelancer or a small like a low-end developer, like where you work on simpler or like simpler projects or something like that. I don't really know where this is coming from because I can't relate to it at all. And my opinions on Joshua is that I'm sure that there are people who enjoy his content, and uh, yeah, I mean, he's going to keep on doing what he's doing regardless of what I say. And if you're ever unsure about anything he says, then I really recommend having a look at Real Tough Candy and like just ask her about her perspective, because I think that they seem to be working. I'm not sure if she's in the US, but they're in the same. They seem to be in the same circle of content, which I think is great. She's definitely someone worth hearing out. Have a great day.